You know, in the whole Avengers Doomsday discussion, one of the big things is always who will be in it, who won't be in it. Of course, we had that insufferable chair watch thing that they did. And one of the names not on there was Famke Janssen, who, of course, was our original Jean Grey from the old Fox X-Men movies. And she's awesome. I love her. And then recently, she did some interviews, and we talked about them on the show about a month or two ago, where she said, look, straight up, I am not in these. No one ever called me to ask me about them. I was never approached about it. I'm just not in them. I'm not in these movies. Okay, keep that in mind. There is a new report going around, like this one in IGN, that's saying Jean Grey actress Famke Janssen will return in Avengers Doomsday, X-Men writer claims. Now. This headline's a little misleading because you'd read that and you think, oh, the writer of the X-Men movie. No. It's one of the X-Men, iconic X-Men comic book writer, Chris Claremont, who has nothing to do with the movies. All right. Chris Claremont is saying that Famke Janssen is in Doomsday. And here's one of his quotes. This is, again, coming to us from IGN. It says, this is Chris Claremont talking. The thing I find most wonderful is that they're bringing back the original cast, including Famke. Including Famke. All right. So what do we make of this report? Is she in Avengers Doomsday? While we are quick to point out that Chris Claremont is not the writer of the movie, he's not involved by the movie. Or he's not involved in the movie at all. Okay? He's not involved with it at all. But two things to keep in mind. He is plugged into that world. He is Chris Claremont. And here's the other interesting thing. Long before it ever became confirmed, he said Chris Evans was in the movie. Long before anybody else, some people predicted it, but long before anybody else reported it, long before it was ever confirmed, he did say that Chris Evans was in the movie some time ago. And lo and behold, Chris Evans. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be right about everything, but he did say Chris Evans, and now we know Chris Evans is going to be in it. Okay. So, in the interest of total transparency, you guys know that we know a lot about the actual things that are happening in Avengers Doomsday. And I will say this. To the best of my knowledge, this is not true. Famke is not in this film, to the best of my knowledge. But that doesn't automatically mean that Chris Claremont is wrong. So let's go over here to the classroom for a second. Well, how could she be in there? How could Chris Claremont be right and have us not actually know, or to the best of our knowledge, she's not in it? The first thing I want to point out is that Chris Claremont may have misspoke. We've seen some other people. We've talked about this in the last couple of months. We've seen some other people accidentally say Doomsday when they meant Secret Wars, talking about other things. It is possible that Chris Claremont knows that Famke is involved, but maybe her involvement is Secret Wars and not Doomsday, and he might have just misspoke, and maybe what he actually knows is that she is going to be in Avengers Secret Wars. If that's the case, that would explain why, to the best of my knowledge, she's not in Doomsday, and why he would say that. So that's one way that he could be right and have us not aware of it. The second possibility here about how Chris Claremont could be right when it's not what I know is that sometimes in scripts, action is described, and you could put anybody in the background or mix into that action. And maybe... Listen, I also want to make sure 100% that the things I know about Doomsday and things that we know in this room about Doomsday doesn't necessarily mean we know every single last little detail. And maybe there's some things we missed and whatever. And maybe there's parts in the story that certain action sequences are described or certain meetings are described that maybe somebody's in there and just not actually overtly mentioned. That could be a possibility. for why that's there. Third possibility is something that happens in a lot of Avengers movies, a late addition. It could very well be that the project that's been described to us, that since that time, little other things get added along the way. So again, to the best of my knowledge, this report is not correct, that she is not in the movie. But that does not 100% eliminate the possibility that Claremont couldn't have been right. Number one, he might have be getting confused between Doomsday and Secret Wars, in which case he would be right. Number two, maybe she's put in there in one of these scenes where she's not exactly directly and overtly referenced. Or three, maybe it's a late addition to, we were just talking about possible post-credit scenes, Rob, a minute ago. Maybe something like that. So as far as we know, this isn't true. But we'd be lying if we didn't say it wasn't at least possible that Chris Claremont could be correct about this. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. You know, the new year doesn't require a new you, maybe just a less burdened you. Most of us carry around things like pressure, self-doubt, or that feeling that we always have to be perfect, and learning to let some of that go can make a huge difference in our lives. Therapy can help you better understand what's weighing you down by giving you an unbiased perspective on your relationships, motivations, and emotions. That's where BetterHelp comes in. See, BetterHelp connects you with quality therapists who are fully licensed in the US and follow a strict professional code of conduct. They also do the matching work for you. You fill out a short questionnaire, and with over 12 years of experience and industry-leading match rates, they usually get it right the first time. And if you ever want to switch therapists, you can do that easily from their tailored recommendations. BetterHelp is also one of the world's largest online therapy platforms, plus an average 4.9 out of 5 rating from over 1.7 million live session reviews. BetterHelp makes it easy to match online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's BETTERHELP.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, that you saw these reports going around, Chris Claremont saying she's in it. What's your takeaway from this?
Well, I'm with you. I mean, from what I understand, she's not in it, and I think that there's probably good reasons for that just from a storytelling standpoint, because dealing with Phoenix or the Phoenix Force in this movie could be a bridge too far. I don't know. I do know that there are other characters that aren't in Doomsday that are in fact in Secret Wars, because I do believe that Spider-Man, like I said, Spider-Man Brand New Day was going to get released after Doomsday. So this is an assumption I'm making. I would assume that the characters in Spider-Man Brand New Day do not appear in Doomsday, because they're in a movie that took place, was going to be seen after Doomsday originally. Now maybe they've changed that. I have no idea. But like you said, they can change things. They've got a year. If they want to add another character, they have an idea, they can insert them. And these movies, remember, they shoot these movies knowing they're going to do reshoots. They know. They build shooting, yep. They build in reshoots. So they might have even built in the fact that Famke Jansson's going to come back and be shot later. So she wasn't lying. It's like when and they always play cheeky. You look at Tom Holland when he's on Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon's like, "You lied to me," and he's like, "They were on set. We were filming when I talked to you last. They were on set. They're gonna lie anyway. So they're not gonna say who or what is what's going on. That's kind of the fun of it. So that could be a possibility too. I would imagine that when they shot Doomsday, there's so many damn people in the movie that they had scheduling issues anyway, and they just said, you know what, we're going to build in reshoots, or not reshoots, but pickups, and we'll shoot you in mid-2026. So we'll go back and get you in the movie, and we have a shoot scheduled in May or June, where they are going to put in, that's probably why we haven't even seen Chair Watch 2 yet, because they're not done. They have the time, and they knew they had the time with the amount of effects they probably have, and with the casting. I mean, with so many people in the movie, they were going to come up against scheduling issues with everybody. And so in the case of how they make these movies, we just build in the time and we'll go shoot them later. So I think that's a possibility too. But I would also say if she's not in the movie, they didn't ask her, it could be a story issue, because how do you explain? I mean, I would love to see Dark Phoenix or Phoenix go up against Doom. That'd be dope. But I don't know if, from what I know, that we're not. But that could, like you pointed out, that could certainly happen in Secret Wars.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll say about this is I saw a couple of people in the live chat writing, how can you possibly have Scott and not have Jean? There are reasons.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that. There are reasons. But anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Chris Claremont, who is not the writer of the upcoming X-Men movie, he's the iconic legendary, is saying that Famke Janssen is going to be in this film. Now, not to the best of our knowledge, but he has been right before, particularly about Chris Evans. What do you think about it? Would you like it? Do you think that's what's going to happen? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.